Gillikasla. Hello, my name is Fran Prince, and as our Comox First Nation Treaty Coordinator, I participated with the development of the Comox First Nation draft constitution beginning in September 2011. The Comox First Nation is currently negotiating a treaty with the governments of Canada and British Columbia. When negotiations are successful, Comox will become a self-governing First Nation. An important part of any government is a constitution. A constitution provides a framework for community governance by describing the relationship between citizens and their governing authority. Constitutions are based on community norms and values and are best understood as a set of written rules and principles that govern decision-making in a political community. Comox must complete a constitution in order to implement our treaty. The Comox First Nation Constitution will be the highest law of our nation. We set out the terms of reference for any Comox members who wanted to be part of this process. We began the process by meeting bi-monthly and reviewing constitutions from other nations, and had the opportunity to speak with the Tsawwassen First Nation members in their governance longhouse, and were given a very detailed orientation of their governance. Comox Constitution members considered key components: definitions of Comox people, outline of rights and freedoms of citizenship, description of various branches of government, which includes makeup of our governance, roles and limits of authority, clarifies relationship between KFN and other governments, expression of beliefs and culture, amendment provisions, and dispute resolution and appeal process.
Hi everyone, my name is Richard Hardy. My Comox name is Namugwis, and I sit on council with the Comox First Nation, and I've been asked to provide a high-level summary of the Comox First Nation's Constitution. The Comox First Nation will be a self-governing First Nation and able to make decisions about who our members are, lawmaking, our lands, managing our money, building our economy, and other matters important to our nation. The Comox Constitution is an important part of self-government, and if ratified, describes the Comox government and guides our leaders, elected representatives, and members in making decisions of our nation. It is a creation of the Comox members and provides a way for members to challenge decisions of the government. Ihochis, moving forward together. The Comox vision is to be a prosperous and healthy nation, exercising our rights throughout our territory, honoring our people, lands, culture, and languages. The Declaration of Identity and Values describes Comox territory, people, values, and highlights our right to self-government. The purpose of the Constitution is to explain the Comox government's responsibilities to its members. An individual is entitled to be a Comox member if that individual is enrolled or is eligible for enrollment under the Comox Treaty, or was registered or entitled to be registered on the Comox First Nation Indian Band List on the day immediately prior to the effective date of the Comox Treaty. A constitutional amendment is required to change the criteria above. Rights and freedoms include the rights of members to equal treatment by the Comox government, political involvement, to be informed, to express opinions, and to participate in culture. Comox First Nation members will continue to have protection of the Canadian Constitution and the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedom. Structure of the government separates the functions of government to provide proper checks and balances and avoid having all government power in one body. A Comox First Nation government would have three components. The legislature is an elected body responsible for making laws. The legislature is comprised of an elected chief and 6 elected legislatures, unless changed by a Comox law. A speaker is chosen from among the members of the Comox legislature to chair the legislature. Executive, an elected body responsible for running the government and overseeing day-to-day operations of government. The executive includes the chief and members selected from the Comox legislature. The judiciary provides an opportunity to review the decisions of government or to adjudicate violations of Comox laws. It will be determined according to a Comox law. The details for the above bodies of government will be set out in Comox law to allow for greater flexibility. There will be convened at least once annually a General Assembly of Comox members to be known as the Comox People's Assembly. At least once annually, the Comox Executive will provide to the Comox People's Assembly the previous year's audited financial statements of the Comox governments, public institutions, and corporations, the annual strategic plan of the Comox government, the proposed legislative agenda for that year, and other matters of importance to the Comox First Nation. Laws can also be presented for consultation at the People's Assembly. Elections will be held every 3 years to select the chief and the legislators. Legislators can be elected for more than one term. Comox has ownership of and jurisdiction over Comox lands and can grant an interest in Comox lands. A Comox land law will be required on the effective date. This section ensures the financial interests of the nation are secure. A Financial Administration Act to set spending controls and provide financial checks and balances will be enacted on effective date, and a Finance Committee established to provide advice and recommendations to the Comox First Nation legislature and executive. The Comox government will establish one or more settlement trusts to preserve and protect the Comox Treaty capital transfer monies and the income that comes from their investment. A law will ensure that Comox government officials do not put their personal interests ahead of the interests of the Comox First Nation. The Comox government, Comox public institutions, and their officials will be accountable to the Comox Nation. Adhere to this Constitution, promote the unity and well-being of the Comox Nation, provide good, effective, and accountable government, and develop and maintain communications with the community. Ratification requires that at least 50% plus one of the eligible voters on the official community voters list vote, and 50% plus one of those who vote are in favor of ratification of the Constitution, and will be held before a treaty ratification. The ratified Constitution will come into effect on the effective date of treaty. If the Constitution is ratified and the treaty is not ratified, the Constitution will be revised and go to ratification again. Proposed amendments to this Constitution may be initiated by the Comox legislature or by the membership at Comox People's Assembly. The Constitution may only be amended by way of a referendum in which at least 50% plus one of the eligible voters on the official voters list vote, and 50% plus one of those who vote are in favor of the proposed amendment. The legislature can approve amendments such as spelling and grammar and changes necessary after implementing the treaty, such as removing references that no longer apply after effective date.
In closing, I just want to thank all our Comox First Nation members who participated in this process. It's been a long journey, but we wanted to include everyone that wanted to have a word or a say in our draft constitution, as it's going to be standing for a long, long time. There might be amendments, but not too many, as we have been very thorough. Also, I want to thank our Comox First Nation Treaty team, including our Chief and Council who have reviewed this draft Constitution. And we look forward to a successful vote on the Constitution and also on our agreement. Gaelic Husla, thank you.
For more information, please visit www.comox.ca/treaty.